before we start, you guys, I have an advantage, a strategic advantage, because I'm an author. But keep in mind that in 2008, when I joined LinkedIn, I only had about 5 books to my credit, maybe 6. I had just published a little gold book of Yes Attitude, so it had no sales. Ended up now it's over 300,000 books in sales. So you can write, and those postings can go on LinkedIn, and that will gain you additional engagement. I'll talk to you more at the end. Brynne and I will be answering questions, but I have known Brynne Tillman now for almost a decade. Mm-hmm. And in that decade, I have watched her grow into a LinkedIn maven. And whatever her tagline is, the LinkedIn whisperer or whatever the deal is, she's the fucking queen of LinkedIn. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand what it takes for a person to dedicate themselves to excellence, which is what Brynne does. She is a communicator, she is a connector, and she understands the why. And she's going to share that with you this morning. So I'm going to duck out of here, or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am going to duck out of here, and please help me welcome my friend, the great Brynne Tillman.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I am so beyond honored and excited to be here talking with you amazing people about kind of what's going on right now and how to really leverage LinkedIn the right way in this time, which can be a little funky, right? Like it's a funny time. So, you know, it's really about building relationships on LinkedIn right now. So although sales are important, we really need to think about it from a relationships perspective. So that's me. Hi, happy to meet you. And a lot of people here I know, which is great. This is our agenda for today, and it is a jam-packed agenda. This is a 30-minute webinar. We'll have Q&A at the end. And I think Jennifer will be kind of curating your questions. So don't wait till the end to ask your questions. Absolutely, you know, ask them as you have them. And then at the end, we're going to go through as many of them as we possibly can. The number one question we keep hearing right now is this recorded? Yes, and it will be live on YouTube almost immediately or very quickly after we complete the program. And we have it on Zoom, so you will have a link to watch it on demand there as well. Our jam-packed agenda. We're going to go through these 4 major areas, and we're going to do it fast and furious. We're going to get to some amazing tips that you can implement right away. Tactical. We're going to talk strategy first, and then we're going to get really, really tactical. The first thing, the strategy, is start to think about the outreach philosophy, how this may have changed in our new environment. Then we're going to talk about what first-degree connections do we want to be reaching out to. This is really important. We've got to get a handle on exactly who it is that we want to be building relationships with. We saw, you know, Jeffrey asked you guys to post your number of connections, 8,000, 18,000. I mean, there's an enormous amount of connections that a lot of us have. We want to make sure we're honing it down to the list of the right people to engage. Once we do that, we're going to talk about multiple ways in today's world that we can reach out in a way that's meaningful to them. And then we're just going to touch for a moment on what thought leadership on LinkedIn means, because building relationships is one thing, sustaining them and feeding them to stay top of mind is another. So we're going to touch on some of that. So let's start first with the elephant in the room. And by the way, the elephant in the room is that we are the only one in the room, right? It's such a strange time in this self-quarantine world. And so one thing, as we're hyper-focused on building relationships, is we need to be hyper-focused that we don't know where our outreach is landing. And I mean, we know whose inbox it's going to, but we don't know what's happening in their household, right? Do they have multiple kids that they're trying to balance homeschool and run a business or do their job? Do they have a family member who's sick in the hospital that they can't visit? Are they isolated and in a home alone, right? So we don't know the circumstances. And so we want to make sure that we are being hyper aware that we don't know the circumstances and that we're calling out the elephant in the room every time we're reaching out, that we're not presuming anything necessarily. The other thing I want you to be aware of is that if you have a drip campaign, go back and read everything that's going out right now. I'm getting so many things that are falling tone deaf. Like I had an offer that was part of a drip campaign that I probably entered in 6 months ago about how I can book keynote speeches in the next 30 days. And I went, we got a problem, right? There are no keynote speeches in the next 30 days. So keep in mind, like we just want to make sure that we are saying and sending the right message in the right time. This is my overarching philosophy. You are welcome to adopt it. You're welcome to adapt it. You create your own. But I really want you to have an outreach philosophy. One that you print out, put on a Post-it note, stick it somewhere, and really make sure that everything you're doing, you're putting against this litmus test. Your philosophy, right? So mine is, now is the time to build relationships, show real empathy, and to be a resource. The sales will come when the time is right. I am not saying you can't sell. People are buying. It may have slowed, but there is still a moving economy. I'm talking to clients all the time. And yes, sure, some people are struggling a little bit, but there are other people that are selling. So I don't want you for a second to think I'm saying don't sell. I'm saying don't lead with the sale. Lead with being a resource. Provide great value. And if the need is there, they will buy for sure. So the goal of LinkedIn for social selling typically is to start more sales conversations. If you're using LinkedIn in this way, in a crisis, we're just saying start conversations, targeted ones, but we want to make sure that you are hyper-focused on conversations, Zoom calls, phone calls, however you want to do that, FaceTime, Skype, you call it. I love the video calls because you're really connecting with people and we need that connection right now. So I love the video calls. I love Zoom. That's what we're using, but you can use anything. The goal, however, is definitely to convert to conversations. Take it from online to offline. If we're not doing that, the business development stuff is never going to really occur, right? So just keep that in mind. Next, find your existing connections. So you might have 8,000, 10,000, 20,000 connections. In one case, they maxed at 30,000 in 2009. That's the maximum that LinkedIn will allow you to have. And then you can have followers beyond that. So how do we hone this down and start to find the connections that we want to engage with? Well, we're going to talk about the how, but let's talk about the who. First, we have an obligation to reach out to our existing clients. If we are not solidifying our relationship with them, really empathetically reaching out to see how they are and see if there's anything that we can do to help in any way, right? We're actually opening ourselves to be vulnerable to losing our clients. We need to show up during a crisis, not to hide. Now, a lot of people don't know what to do and they're kind of frozen. They're like, I don't know how to reach out to my clients right now. It's so awkward. We're going to give you ways today to do that. Your prospects, if you're like most people, the first couple of months of this year was incredibly busy. And I had the biggest pipeline I had ever had in my career. That pipeline may seem like it slowed down, but it's still there. Those people will have a need once we're back. So what are you doing now to still be of value for them? Even if business isn't going to close till August, September, October, you need to make sure that you're of value to those prospects right now. Referral partners, not a better time to deepen your relationships with people that you've referred business to and that have referred you business. Get on these calls a couple a week, maybe a couple of a day if you're slow, and start to really solidify those relationships so that when things pick up, you're running out of the gate with referrals from people that are working with similar clients. Vendors, these are people that are selling to other people like you. If in fact they've done something for you, maybe they've made a huge impact on your moving from a physical office to home office. They've had an impact on helping your business stay afloat. Maybe it's a banker that gave you a loan, right? What does that look like? And how are we reaching out and appreciating them? Coworkers more than ever need this. If you've got coworkers that create a virtual water cooler. Show up for 5 or 10 minutes a day and just chat and check in and see how people are. Great way to engage. Community leaders, reach out to the association leaders, your chambers of commerce, wherever you would do your networking and you're engaging in person, reach out to them just to see how they are. So we're going to give you a process around this because here is what happens. You're going to come away with a ton of ideas, I promise, things that you're going to be so excited to do, but it's going to feel overwhelming and you're going to say, I don't know where to start. So outside of making sure your profile is positioned right, which we'll end with today, I want you to start by exporting your connections into an Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to show you how to do this one time. It'll be recorded. You could go back and see the steps. But what you're going to get is a spreadsheet of first name, last name, company name, title, and the date you connected with them. And it will be organized in the date of the most recent connection. It will look like this. Okay. Now, I have added columns. And in these columns, well, the first thing I'd want you to do is go through and clean this up. Take out people that you don't want to engage with, highlight people that you do, whittle this down to a list. It might take you a couple of hours. You've got the time now. This is a great thing to do. And I'm going to show you all kinds of things to do. Create a column for each of the activities you would like to do with each of the people on your list. This will keep you organized and you can go through to really invest a couple of hours and mine your network. Really look through it and look at all the people that you've been ignoring and come up with a plan. How are we going to reach out to them? This is so tactical, guys. I want to make sure you're doing this. So how do you export your connections? I'm going to show it once. I'm going to do it slowly. You can write this down or you can come back and watch again. Click on the My Network tab. From here, you're going to click on Connections on the left-hand side. That is going to take you to this page where you are going to see on the top right, Manage Synced and Imported Contacts. Once you click on that, you're going to see Export Contacts. When you click on that, and I know these are a lot of steps, you're going to click on Connections. That's what we want to export. And it'll say Request Archive. You're going to click on that. You're going to put in your LinkedIn password. And within about 10 minutes, you will get a link that takes you back here where you can download a CSV file that you can open up in Excel. You will have every single connection, right? So now once you've identified those connections, simply take their name when you've identified what you want to do and look them up on LinkedIn and do whatever it is you decide to do to engage them. All right, so what are those things that we want to do to engage? First thing, give someone a kudos. What is a kudos? It's literally a public postcard that thanks someone. They get notified, it goes to your newsfeed. If they engage on it, they get notified. There's an automatic hashtag that is generated, so anyone following the kudos hashtag will see that they've been publicly thanked. And it's simple to do, and we can get there in two ways. One of them is from your homepage. you can click on Start a Post, Celebrate a Teammate. It should be, there we go. And then it has Welcome a Teammate, which is great. And it has Give Kudos. Now I'm going to type in the name of the person I decided to give a kudos to. So I'm going to give kudos to Jennifer for doing such an amazing job in putting this webinar together. So thank you so much for going above and beyond. This is awesome. I'm thanking her. There are 2 hashtags mentioned. Anyone following Going Above and Beyond or kudos, this will go into their news feed. I can add other things like sales training. Usually I like 3, the most is 5, but I could do LinkedIn, right? And so now I've added other things, and I would actually normally specifically say for doing such a great job on the LinkedIn webinar, but for the time, I'm just gonna hit post. So if I haven't connected with Jennifer in a while, maybe she did something at work for me, you know, think of those of you, the coworkers, give them a kudos. Maybe someone helped you configure your computer before you took it home. Give them a kudos if they did a good job for you, right? Maybe you had any kind of vendor that's done anything for you that's really had an impact. Give them a kudos. What a nice way to just say thank you. It takes no time at all, and it makes them feel good. There's no agenda. This is not about giving for the law of reciprocity. This is giving to make someone feel good, someone important in your network. Next, endorse. So I can go in, and I'm just going to stick with Jennifer for now. Normally I would say do not endorse and give a kudos to the same person because it could look a little stalkerish. However, in this case, she knows I'm a stalker. No, I'm kidding. So in this case, I'm going to go down and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, so LinkedIn classes, social selling, she's good at all these amazing things. And I can look through here and see what else is she great at. Totally great at lead generation. Absolutely business development. Oh, these are all checked. So I'm unchecking. Sorry, Jen. These I've already checked all of these. Social media marketing. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see when I click on that from the plus sign to the check, she is highly skilled. And we've worked on the same project. You can choose from the drop down and submit. She is not going to know that I said highly skilled. Well, she is because she's watching the webinar. But generally, she will not be notified at the highly skilled piece. She'll be notified that I just gave her that kudos. Social selling, if you see that plus sign, I think I have now endorsed you for every possible endorsing here. But she'll get a little notification, and she is even prompted to thank me. LinkedIn will say, thank Brynne for endorsing you. So now she's gonna hit, maybe she customizes it, maybe she just says, thanks for endorsing me for social media marketing. And now I can start a conversation with her, right? Yeah, you know what, I've noticed how amazing you are at social media marketing. I just really wanted to give you that shout out. Hoping to hear, how are you and Jeffrey doing in this self-quarantine? Are you guys staying sane, right? Start that conversation. Don't leave it at thanks for endorsing me, right? This can now turn into potentially a conversation that goes into offline, right? Into the real world outside of LinkedIn. So just kind of keep that in mind. Next, a LinkedIn recommendation. This is more time consuming, but also more meaningful. I recommend that you do this for coworkers, for vendors, for anyone that's really made an impact for you. If you took a training, if you went through, any kind of training where there was great value, you can write a recommendation. If you did, anything that has brought impact or value. It's pretty simple to do from, how do I physically do this? But sit back and think about what it is that you want to talk about that will really make the recipient feel like they made an impact. Most of us do what we do because we want to help people. Most people are in sales because they want to help people. They want to make a difference. So if someone sold something to you that had an impact, writing a recommendation is golden. Just payment isn't always all you need to do, right? Letting them know how amazing they are. So when you are on someone's profile, there are two places to get there. One is you click on more and I can hit recommend, or if I'm down in Jen's recommendations, I can hit recommend Jennifer from here too. It's going to take me through the motions of how are you connected, and it'll give me a place to put in that recommendation. And once I do that, she'll get a message that says she's been recommended, and she can either accept it, ignore it, or request changes, which is pretty powerful. Make introductions for other people. This is huge. So think about who is in your circle of influence. If you are, let's say you are a website developer, that's what you do. Maybe you network with copywriters and with graphic arts, with graphics people, right? And now is a great time to introduce the copywriter to the graphics person, right? I have witnessed Jennifer doing this for weeks now. I mean, she has connected, her VA to a ton of people, including me, right? So there is this mindset of help other people succeed, right? So she's helping her VA grow their business, and she's helping me grow my business because I now have a resource I didn't have before. So really deeply think about who in your network do you want to make introductions for. So let's just assume we're going to stick with you are a website developer. I'm going to look at who in my existing network. So I click on search and people. I'm going to click on all filters, and I'm going to choose my first degree connections. These are the people that I know. And then I'm going to go down, and if you have other, if you sell in a local area, you can add this. We're global, so I want every location. But there, if there's an industry that you specifically serve, but I'm going to go into title and I'll put copywriter. And I hit apply, and I can see how many copywriters do I know, and I know over 80 copywriters. So I can look through this list and see people that I know or care about and send them a message. And I just say, Sabina, I hope this is landing in a happy, healthy, stress-free or sane environment. I hope you're doing okay. I'm taking this time in self-quarantine to connect people in my network that can benefit from one another and help each other grow their business now and when we come out of this. Are you open to introductions? And so I might do this to all 80 if I want to. I mean, it's a lot to manage. Maybe you choose 10. And I reach out to them, are you open for introductions? And if they say yes, I put a little X on my little spreadsheet, they're open for introductions. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the exact same search. And I might even say, who else do you want to meet, right? What other titles? And I'll put in graphics. I'm just doing that as an example. Let's see someone that does graphic, maybe it's graphic designer. I think that's too broad. So I'm going to bring that down to graphic designer. Now I'm going to show you really quickly, because these are 2 words in designer, because they're 2 words in a phrase. I want to put quotation marks around that because it's going to look for exactly those words, and that'll bring me down. I must have gotten out of my first degrees. That is very true. So let's see what I do. My first degrees, I have 41. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through my 41 graphic designers, my 80 copywriters, and then eventually make some matches. Just introduce them solely on the basis of building a stronger network for business referrals down the road. Next, engage on their content. This is so easy, guys. People are sharing content so that you will engage. So if I go, let's look at something Jeffrey, we'll give him a little attention now. If I'm looking at content so we have both his company page and his personal page. We're on his personal page. I'm going to scroll down to his activities. Here's his activities. If I click see all and I look at his posts, oh, look, he's talking about our webinar. I'm going to go ahead and like that. I'm going to go, so excited to be here, right? And I'm going to engage. So people are sharing content because they want people to engage on it. When you click on posts, these are the things they shared. This makes them feel good. Just the fact that you engage. Now read the content and say something smart. Sometimes they'll say, my favorite part of this quote, of this article was this quote, and I'll re-quote what they stated. Really dig in and get personal with it. This is hold office hours. The only part of LinkedIn is who you want to invite. And your first degree connections, you can send unlimited message to. So when you go through your Excel list, you identify, here are people I'd love to offer my office hours. Your prospects, your clients, you absolutely open your doors. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's every other week, maybe it's every week. You've got an hour. You put it out there and say, if you have questions around X, I am here as a resource. Gift. Don't sell in that hour. At the end of the hour, at the end of the conversation, you can say, if you need more or want more, let's set up a separate call and we can chat about how else I can help you. But this time is about helping you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Really powerful. This is my favorite, hands down. I absolutely crazy love what I'm about to show you. So this is, hello, welcome to my phone. This is sending a video message to a specific person. This is one-on-one, not sharing to your newsfeed, to say thank you. Oh, how cute. Let me see, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna get back into LinkedIn. And I am going to click on, so let's go to Jeffrey, and I'm going to send him a little video message, which I think I may have done before. But I'm going to click here on the plus sign, and you'll see when I do that, a whole bunch of icons open up. This is free and available on the mobile app only. And I'm going to hit my video camera and my selfie mode. Hi, right? So now I'm going to go, hey, Jeffrey, I'm on the webinar right now being goofy, right? Whatever I want to say, I have now sent a very personal message to Jeffrey in the inbox. The response on this is significantly over 90%. People don't even know you could do this, and it's personal. I'm checking in. So here's the funny thing. As a sales trainer my whole life, I said, don't ever call someone and say you're checking in. What a waste of their time. You can check in right now just to see how they are. It's a little bit different. But, you know, really consider reaching out to 15, 20 people a day with a 15-second message that just says, I'm thinking about you. How personal is that? It's touching. It makes such an impact. All right, so now we went through some of this stuff. I just want to talk, because we have 2 minutes and I'm going to go through this fast and then we're going to but you want to make sure that you're curating, creating, and sharing thought leadership. The know, like, and trust, although that's still important, on LinkedIn is attract, teach, and engage. And thought leadership is what's going to do this. Here's what thought leadership is. It's a gift. Again, it's not about giving something for the law of reciprocity at this point. Thought leadership is giving you something, maybe to pay it forward, but it's not that you're looking for something in return. If you're doing that, which is not bad, I do it all the time, but that's marketing, right? That's lead generation. I do it all the time. It's different, however, than true thought leadership. And you can do both. But recognize that there are times where we just want to give, right? You need to earn the right to have that conversation. There is an ask-offer ratio that I think is absolutely vital. And this ask-offer ratio is you're asking for something in return for something. You're asking for 3 minutes to watch my video, 30 minutes to show up at a webinar. The offer at the end, the offer that they get, they're going to subconsciously make a decision on whether or not that was worth their 3 minutes or 30 minutes. So when we ask to speak with someone, they're deciding even before they say yes, whether it's worth it. So if you have not mastered the ask offer ratio, where you've earned the right by offering 10 times the value of someone's 30 minutes, they're not going to get on a call with you. So make sure you are becoming that thought leader and that subject matter expert and are giving so many gifts that they can't wait to talk to you. You want to be a resource, you need to understand what the challenges that your customers, your audience is going through right now. And you need to know what insights and value that you can bring them in their current state, which is very different than 6 weeks ago. So you have a very big responsibility of identifying what's changed in their business, what's impacting them personally. What does their team look like today? Did they have layoffs, right? What new solutions do they need? And we need to adjust on that dime, right? We need to make sure that our outreach is nurturing what they need now. And your profile is thought leadership too. You need to start here. You have to look at your profile and say, if someone shows up at this profile when I ask for a call, are they going to say, yeah, I'm dying to talk to this person, or is they going to say, this is just a resume of a salesperson? So just keep that in mind. So to recap, we went through outreach philosophy, have one, finding your first degree connections through both search and your Excel spreadsheet. Engage them appropriately and make sure you're getting seen as a thought leader. I did it a minute over, but I told you guys it was going to be jam packed. So I hope that you got lots and lots and lots of value. Welcome back, Jeffrey. How was your coffee? Oh, I think you've got to unmute, my friend.
I drink Death Wish coffee.
I know.
It's it's sweet and powerful.
Just like you.
Kind of like the women in our household.
There you go.
I want to share something with each of you because I want to reiterate what Brynne has said because it is so powerful. I have a marketing philosophy and a sales philosophy, and they're both combined, and you'll never see it in a marketing book because I took marketing in college and I considered it 3 words, waste of time. I put myself in front of people that can say yes to me, and I deliver value first. I put myself in front of people that can say yes to me, and I deliver value first. And that's what LinkedIn is about. I have 29,000 LinkedIn connections and who knows how many followers, but I offer value messages every single day without fail.
10 a.m.
Yeah, well, my value message is on Facebook. I have LinkedIn messages I post. We have a VA team. Jen can put our VA, I don't know, if you want to know about who our VAs are, put a message here and Jennifer will connect them with you. But most importantly, it is important that you connect with your people all the time with something that they can use, especially now. My philosophy for the last 4 weeks and for the next 2 months is going to be help customers win. That has nothing to do with your sales pitch or your slide deck. Give it back to your marketing people and tell them to shove it. And because it's a boring slide deck, look how good Brynne's slides were. Make your own slides, Brynne?
I do.
Yeah, exactly. So do I. But the challenge for the audience today, and there's a lot of people in the audience, is what are you doing for your customers that they perceive you as a helper, not as a salesperson? They perceive you, to use Brynne's words, as a resource. And if you are seen in that light, people are going to want to connect with you now and after this, whatever this silly thing is that we're doing. Brynne has a course, Mastering LinkedIn for Social Selling. It's a 6-week online workshop. How's that for being able to read, Brynne?
You're good at reading. I hear you do that a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big reader. English is my major language. If you would like to, what do you have to do to get the course? Reserve your spot, Gitomer LinkedIn. Oh, here we go. What do I do to get the course?
You go to gitomerlinkedin.com.
Uh-huh.
So this is we're putting this together because we know there's a big need.
Yeah.
And we're doing it at a crazy price, right? Because we want to make sure everybody can do this.
Crazy. It was like $1.5 million per
Well, that's
person.
what it used to be, right?
No, we only need, if we sell 2, we're fine.
Right, we'll split it.
Right.
So it's literally 2 payments of $97.
Oh.
But people have paid $1,000 a seat for this course before. So, but we know that in this time, things are different. It's difficult. And so we really wanted to make this incredibly affordable for folks.
So we have a few questions, and Jen is going to be asking questions of us, but I think it's important for you to understand this. About 8 weeks ago, I'm on my LinkedIn page where I try to go at least 2 or 3 times a week. Some people go every day. I would recommend you go every day. I just don't. Literally, my time is not my own. So I go on LinkedIn, and there's a guy messages me in my messaging thing, which is the thing I looked at the most, that he had an idea and would I connect with him, and he's the CEO of some company, and I go, sure. And so we talk. And it turns out that this is a company that hires salespeople, trains them, and then places them with Fortune 500 companies without the Fortune 500 company putting them on their payroll. So this guy he is an incubator for millennials. He knows more about millennials. Huh?
Brilliant.
Oh, totally brilliant. He's placed over 350 people so far. And his company is 6 or 7 years old. The guy's brilliant. We've become best friends, and we're going to create something for salespeople that are in work and out of work that will blow the doors off of the sales industry in general. And we've decided to partner on it because of my LinkedIn connection with him. No other reason. I would have never known this guy existed. He's been a fan of mine for 20 years, but he piped up. Mm-hmm. And he's like privileged to do this with me. I'm privileged to do this with him. Mm-hmm. And we're both working from home. Me and Jen and this guy talk on the phone 3 times a day. I'm going to be giving my sales assessment away and my sales certification course away for free. Yes, we're going to have sponsors that will help defray some of the costs, but not the salespeople, because there's going to be millions of them out of work, literally millions. They've been furloughed, they've been laid off, they've been fired. Mm-hmm. And this is our time to put America back to work. And that's the theme. We're going to put people back to work, especially in sales. Mm-hmm. And I would have never had this opportunity if it wasn't for LinkedIn. And I would have never had this opportunity if I wasn't paying attention to my LinkedIn account. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying my best on an everyday basis to stay on my LinkedIn messages and to talk to people that need to talk to me, because people are having issues. And I try my best to do something. And keep in mind, I get about 6,000 profile views a week. Keep in mind that people are, I get more messages than I can possibly know what to do with or say grace over, but I try my best to identify a few that I can help. Mm. If I can help people beyond their expectation, I'm going to win. And Brynne has put this course together with that exact message, mm-hmm. helping people who are on LinkedIn to win. So you go to gitomerlinkedin.com. Just go now and click on the buy button and buy the frickin' thing. And I dropped a couple F-bombs when we first started. Somebody was offended. And someone came to my defense immediately by saying people that swear are the most honest people in the world because they're not afraid to hold back. Now,
so Brynne, this is actually like live coaching, right?
Yeah.
These sessions are live.
These are live. This is not on demand. This is, I am there. We go through it. You ask your questions as live as it is at the moment. If you're here live, if you're watching it on demand, then it's not. No, but we're live. And we'll start with really developing a powerful profile. We'll go into building those relationships and prospecting. We cover messaging, how to engage with people the right way. We're going to have a whole piece on thought leadership. And there are 2 full office hours where I literally will be available to personally answer your one-on-one questions.
Cool. That's cool. Somebody also commented, research shows that people that swear are also smarter. So for those of you who don't swear, I would say loosen up a little bit.
Oh
And
boy.
but here's the look. I was raised in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York. Dude, it's how we talk. It's go to a ball game in Philly.
Not if swearing is offensive, don't go.
Yeah, well, exactly. If you're offended, but here's
You
the
can't
deal.
come to Philly.
It's language, and you need to understand that this is a time where sensitivity, you need to be a helper, but if you're too sensitive, I'm probably not your best guy. Because I'm going to be literal. I'm a person who's knocked on doors in New York City for 3 years where up yours is a greeting and people want to bribe. And I sold $100 million worth of stuff, cold calling CEOs at a time when you could actually knock on their door. So I'm not going to apologize for what I do, but I am going to tell you that you go with what feels good for you. And you do what feels good for you, especially on LinkedIn, where you're trying to create almost an absent impression. People can see your profile, so you get a little bit. People can see your endorsements, so you get a little bit. And then you can shoot a video and send it out. I would send a video to everybody. Because
I love that video
is,
message. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions. I don't know,
Brynne,
if you want to turn my camera on, I'm happy to be.
Oh, I would love to see your fabulous.
Just while we're on the talking about GitomerLinkedIn.com, Brynne's course, Dustin asked, will the online workshop also be recorded in case we can't attend all 6 weeks? Absolutely, yes. You will be able to access all of Brynne's lessons on demand after she does them live.
So Jen, can you click on the camera? Because it looks like you have permission.
It says you can't start your video because the host stopped it.
I didn't. I would never. Okay.
That's okay. So thank you guys. We have over 1,000 people watching this thing. Some are on Zoom, some are on YouTube, and it's just really incredible. We've compiled your questions into a document. So I'm going to start off here. So we have JT said, I had a customer get upset for me addressing him as Max. He said his name was Matt, as I had in Salesforce. LinkedIn had Max. Is LinkedIn not reliable? How do we know if it's up to date?
Well, so the answer, and I am so sorry, I can't undo you, but the answer is it's self-updated. So I think at that point I would have said, Matt, I am so sorry. I may recommend you update your LinkedIn profile so other people don't make the same mistake. And then do a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
I would have said those bastards at LinkedIn can't even spell.
Oh, that's good. See, that's funnier.
But the challenge is engage the person. I'm not an apologizer unless I've really done something incorrectly. And then I never say I'm sorry. I say I apologize, because I think I'm sorry is a state of being, but I apologize means you're moving forward. Sometimes I even thank people. Hey, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't realize what a jerk I was to say you by the wrong name. Like an idiot, I posted what LinkedIn said. So I'm going to go back to Facebook and do it the right way. Just thank them. Thank people for being pissed off.
Yeah.
All right, so shout out to Brandy, who just enrolled in GitomerLinkedIn.com.
Cool.
The next question that we have here is from Fred. Can one really have 8,000 engaged connections? How?
So
one at a time.
So there is a one at a time. Part of it is, exploring that Excel and really looking at who do we want to engage. That's why I taught that. But a lot of it isn't about who you know, but who knows you, right? And so if you are sharing enough value, you'll build a tribe. And the right people will keep showing up, and you'll get to know the right people. You're never going to know all 8,000, but 8,000 could know you. I mean, there is no way that Jeffrey knows everyone on this call. But
Wait a minute. I've shaken all their hands. I
all
swear.
their hands,
Yeah.
and kissed their babies.
Right.
Right. But you all know him. He's, you can make yourself a little, he's famous. You can make yourself a little famous. You can have your own group of followers, and it'll start with that 8,000. They'll find you if you do enough, right? If you put out enough thought leadership and enough value, and you're a resource to enough people, and you mine your connections down, and you're sending personal messages to them, you'll build relationships over time. Yeah.
So let me share a real thing with you. You have an audience, and you're in the insurance business or whatever. Post every day on how to keep your attic warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Post where the 3 major break-in points are for anyone's home. Post a value message that's short and sweet. Something about safety, something about golf, something about travel, anything that would engage your audience to where they will write you back or ping you back or thank you back. The important thing is that you do it consistently. You can't do it once a month. You have to do it every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. So put yourself in that position where you're giving a valuable message. You don't have to engage people individually, but you have a tribe, you have a group. Message all of them. They'll see your message. Some will see it, some won't see it, but people can go back and look at it.
We're going to teach them how to do that too in this course.
Oh, cool.
All right. Shout out to Christopher, Jen, Robert, and Dustin for signing up. Now, the next question is from Diane. Should we accept every invitation to connect?
So that is, first of all, a personal decision. So I'm never going to say yes, and I'm never going to say no, but I think there are times where you should take a look and evaluate. If it's someone that I have 0 connections with and they have 3 connections and I'm number 4, I'm slightly suspicious. If I have 15 or 20 shared connections, I'm more likely to want to engage. But you can, and we'll teach you this in the course, you can actually reply to them with a little message that says, thanks so much for the connection request. Typically, I only connect with people I know may ask how you found me. So if you're on the fence, you can actually engage and ask why they connected with you, if in fact you're a little bit more on the purist side.
I've done that myself, Brynne, and I've asked people how they found me, and somebody said their college professor recommended it.
You have to connect then, right?
Of course.
Of
course. And they have like 17 connections. So don't prejudge.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful.
Yeah. And that's why I reply with that message. Yeah.
Okay, next question goes hand in hand. There's 2 questions. One's from Kevin, one's from Lauren. How do we get the name of LinkedIn member? Is the only way to get this to join premium? And then the follow-up to that is it worth paying to be a premium member?
So I have a very strong opinion on this. Jeffrey, do you want to start or should I just go?
Go, Brynne.
Okay. So I have Sales Navigator, and I would pay that before I'd pay my water bill because it's what pays my water bill. However, it is like a gym membership. How many of you have joined a gym? You went 3 times, you never showed up again. You're in the same darn shape you were when you signed up. No better for it, but you're less money because you're paying every single month. That is what Sales Navigator can be. However, if you join that gym and you're committed and you hire a trainer to teach you the machine so you know how many reps and what the weight should be, you know when it's arm day, you know when it's leg day, you will get in good shape. If you do that with Sales Navigator, you will have a strong pipeline and a growing business.
So I'm going to throw it at you this way. You don't do push-ups, you do brain-ups. And if you exercise your brain to connect with people in a valuable way, you're going to win. And if you don't, you're not going to win, and you'll be pissed off, and you're going to blame somebody or something rather than take responsibility for it, which is your biggest mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Danny.
So just a big welcome to John, Dan, Cameron, Janine, and Matt for signing up at GitomerLinkedIn.com. Now, the next question is from Alan, wondering if you could share your spreadsheet again.
So it's your spreadsheet, actually, that you will be downloading. So this is mine, right? So this is when you download it, it's not this pretty, but it comes with all of these is first name, last name, company, position, the date you connected, which by the way, when you reach out, you can say, and it's, you know, you go down and let's say I'm, you know, I'm going to go way down, right? But I got to, let's say it was March of 2019. And I could reach out and I say, Michael, I hope this video message is, you know, finding you safe and healthy and sane. We connected a year ago, March, and we haven't really communicated yet, but I wanted to reach out and just say, I'm here as a resource if you need anything, and I hope you're doing well. Now, the fact that you even know when you connected is pretty cool. So you can certainly do that, right? And then I have, who do I want to give kudos to? Who do I want to endorse? Who do I want to recommend? Who am I going to make introductions to, right? Who wants introductions? Who am I going to send a video message to? And who do I want to get on a networking call with?
Yeah, I think that for me, when I'm reaching out, I read their profile. I try to find something that I have in common, and I'll put that into the little message that I send them. And that gives me an opportunity to try to connect in some way, whether it's from the city that they're from or the college that they went to or the sports teams that they like. I can find stuff in that profile that allows me to find a link. That's why they call it LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm finding what we have in common or what we both know about or like, and that will cause a greater percentage of reactions. And yes, my celebrity status, everybody I write to will write back to me. Everybody I reach out to will reach back to me. That's not going to happen with you all the time, but partially it's not your fault. It's the fault of your message. Your message blows. And if you want your message to be sincere and on point and valuable, you're going to have to do a little work. You can't just click out something. Hey, I really appreciate it. You know, I realize we're second connections, but don't give me a bunch of shit. Tell me something that's valuable to me as a potential connector. You have no idea. People will write me a dialogue of their life about all the books that they've read of mine. And, you know, would you please connect with me? And as I connect with them and they think, oh my God, it worked. Right. It does work. If you have something personal and you can say something slightly memorable, you're going to win. You're going to totally win. But if
So
you
that's a
don't-
great, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, that's a great segue into the next question, which is
Cool.
please share the difference between a relationship building intro and a soliciting intro for a cold call.
Soliciting interest for a cold call are stupid. Have a valuable piece of information that you share with them and they'll connect with you. You don't troll for leads on LinkedIn.
Please.
Troll for connections that could be memorable and valuable to you and reach out to them.
And then you can be valuable too. And
Yeah.
and there's another piece that we're going to spend a lot of time on in this course, which is leveraging your existing network. Who do your clients know that they can refer you to? Who do your strategic alliances know? So when you are connecting, you're coming in at such a high level of credibility that the chance of them actually taking your call is 50-50. 1 out of 2 people that you reach out to that came through a warm market take your call when you use our system. So
This is great.
There's still hundreds of people online. If you haven't gone to gitomerlinkedin.com, what the hell are you waiting for?
So
Seriously.
I love seeing all the familiar names of people who have gone there, like Matt, Kimberly, Sue, Kent, Matthew, Elizabeth, William, Amy, Robert. Way to go. You are going to love this. This could be business changing for sure. So the next question that we have here is from Deborah. How do you manage your time versus running your business and doing the work? Service-based business and spending the time required to build a stronger network.
yeah, so the first thing is you have to take a look at your current process. And if you don't have a current process in your day, you got to create one, because this should really work into your day. I am not one to say, take an hour a day and work in LinkedIn. Now, there may be time set aside to curate content or to create content or to do a video, right? But generally, we're going to teach you how to do this throughout your day, just like email is part of your day, and in your normal cadence, that's what LinkedIn will become.
I'm going to share it with you from a different perspective, but it's kind of the same message. In this book, which you should all own, it's called Get Shit Done. It is a book about productivity. And in it, I quote Orison Swett Marden's book from He Can Who Thinks He Can, written 110 years ago.
Holy cow.
And I think that it's important for you to understand that all the ideas that you need already exist. The problem is you're not exposing yourself to them. But in this book, he writes, never underestimate the value of the use of spare minutes. You do not have to have an hour set aside, but when you get a minute, you click in and you see what's new or what's up there. And you take that and you take it for yourself, and maybe you only reach out to 2 people or one person. You never know who you're reaching out to. When I give a talk to 500 people, I know that 20 people will be impacted in a way that they've never been impacted before. The problem when I give the talk is I don't know which 20. So I give my talk to everybody. And you do the same thing with your audiences. When you're posting something on LinkedIn, somebody is going to be impacted literally forever. Give it out there. You never know.
I love that. And if you do the spreadsheet, if you have a minute, you just hop in and see who's the next person on my list to do something nice to. People
see the whole
do
quote?
not realize the immense value of utilizing spare minutes. That's so brilliant.
110 years old. And just for those of you who were foolish enough not to buy this book yet.
I have mine. I just need to get it signed when I see you.
No problem. There's a process in anything that you and I do that can last for a lifetime if you decide you're going to dedicate yourself to the process. And how you were raised has a huge impact on that. I mean, a huge impact on that. And so I'm looking at it from the perspective of, I took a bunch of the Martin quotes and I put them in here so that you could see what some guy wrote 110 years ago. There's more to it than that, but we don't have time to go into it today. But this one quote is the most impactful quote I've ever read.
Every child should be taught to expect success.
Love. I gave it to my 10-year-old daughter, who's now 11, for her first day of school in the 5th grade this year, and I gave it to every teacher in the school and the headmaster. Like, why are you teaching me crapola when you should be teaching me how to be successful? Yes, I want to be diverse, but I also want to be a millionaire. And so I want to be a diverse millionaire. Don't teach me only diversity. Teach me about what I need to do to become successful as a person. And you need to do exactly the same thing. And maybe you didn't get these lessons when you were a kid, but you need them now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have 2 questions about the course. Cynthia is asking if it will be every Monday at the same time at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern time. And then Tevin is asking, he purchased your do-it-yourself course that we're also working with you on. What's the difference between this and that? He really wants to dig into the platform.
Yeah, so this is going to be the similar philosophy, but it's deeper, and you get me as part of that, and you get the office hours. But the course that we go through, you'll see some similarities, but it's there are deeper pieces to it, and more some more tactical areas and some additional ways to think of things. So I think it's a good supplement.
Dude, it's 2 payments of $97. Now is not the time to be a cheap bastard. Now is the time to invest in yourself. When I was a sophomore in college, many, many, many years ago, my buddy and I bought a racehorse. And we bet one night $500 on one of these horses to win, and it came in second. So I have paid $500 to watch a horse come in second. I would recommend for 2 $97 payments that you might want to invest in something that could allow you to buy the racetrack.
What a great story. What a great story.
Jeffrey is the only one who can call someone a cheap bastard and get away with it. But basically, anyone you should have both, Tevin. That's what he's saying. All right, so let's see, where'd my document go here? Okay. From Bloom Grapes Marketing, for large numbers of connections, it is ultra hard to send them all direct messages, even by groups of 40s or 50s. What
Correct.
application or extension would you recommend to use to make it more automated?
I don't recommend automation. I recommend building relationships, and you can't do that with a bot.
Ooh.
And Tevin just bought the course.
Cool.
Way to go, Tevin. And
Okay,
so did
so-
Andreas, Eugene, Mark, Michelle, Christiana, Raymond, Sal, Melanie, Kim, AJ, George, and Robert. Way to go, guys. All right. Steven would like to know, how do you get your phone on the screen?
So there's two ways.
Wait, you hold it up to the camera. Look, there's mine.
So if you have a Mac, you use QuickTime and you hit record, or if you have Zoom, QuickTime. But if you use Zoom, if you have Zoom, you can plug your phone in and go to the share your screen and just choose iPhone, and that'll put it up there as well. So it should have anyway. Maybe it's making me a liar. Let me see.
You're fine.
Do you guys see it or no?
Nope.
Do you
Not
see
yet.
my phone? So you can do that in, oh, there it is.
There we go.
Okay. I had to say, okay. So this is Zoom, right? So I plugged into my computer, and when you do share screen, you can choose iPhone or iPad or Android or whatever that
Wow.
is to share.
You have very nice, very, very nice software. In your,
Thank you.
So-
Very few men have complimented me on that lately, but
yeah, I'm just telling you, it's very,
Maybe
very,
ever.
very, very nice. I'm getting a lot. I'm reading the comments from Zoom, and a lot of people are commenting about this, that they bought it or they did something with it. This book is not only good, it's funny as hell.
yeah.
And it will tell you why you're as distracted as you are and why you procrastinate the way you do. This is about productivity, procrastination, and profitability. It's the most underdone book in the market right now because my publisher, they are cheap bastards and they won't back the book the way they're supposed to.
Because of the name?
Huh?
Because of the
No,
name?
they named it.
Yeah, I was paid by my publisher to write this book. I didn't have the idea. They did.
Oh, that's
And-
funny.
It took me 3 months to write the book. It's full of productivity ideas and tips, but more important, it points out where you are lacking. And not unlike LinkedIn, they're both opportunities. And you decide how you want to take advantage of them. It's plain and simple. The LinkedIn opportunity is the business software for right now.
Mhm.
And you don't have to learn it. You have to master it. And you have to be a connector in a way that your previous training in this pales and fails by comparison, because you have a bunch of LinkedIn connections and you don't do shit with them. And now Brynne is giving you ways and more ways to use those connections to be able to build relationships. Relationships will turn into not just sales, referrals.
Mhm.
And that's the basis of LinkedIn, is interconnecting and finding things in common with people, and you can communicate in a heartbeat.
So to that point, Jeffrey, I had today a VP of sales at a very large organization reach out to me and say they were speaking with one of my connections about using LinkedIn, and he said, you got to talk to Brynne. I don't know that connection.
Right.
Right? But because I've provided enough value over time, people know me and are referring, even though I haven't actually even had that conversation.
In sales, it's not who you know. In sales, it's who knows you. And I promise you that mantra will work for everyone in this audience if they will just post value messages on LinkedIn on a regular basis. People will share them, people will forward them, people will copy them, people will use them in their sales meetings. They'll acknowledge you. If you put a quote up there, make sure you acknowledge who said the quote. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's somebody else. Acknowledge the person who wrote the quote, or I will come and get you.
Tag them so they'll come and engage on it, and
Exactly.
then their network now sees it.
All right,
So-
we have about 16 or 17 more questions, and I
Yeah,
want to
okay,
make sure we're answering everyone's questions. So this one's from Andrea. Do you have a particular tip to improve engagement with potential clients and headhunters? I'm a headhunter and always looking for new ways to engage with potential clients. Any insight?
Testimonials. You place somebody in a job, it's the best job they've ever had, sign Mary Jones. You stop bragging about who you are, because headhunters do not have, and I know this is going to come as a surprise to you, the best reputation on the planet. And so if you're going to be a headhunter with a great reputation, then you need videos from your placed clients who totally love you and trust you and are willing to talk about you. That's all you need.
Yeah, both, right? So the candidate and the client.
Yep.
Yep. And then referrals. So we'll teach about referrals. So if you have a happy client, we're going to teach you how to mine their connections, identify 8 or 10 people they know, talk to them about those people and say, I want to get in front of these people. What do you think? And then get permission to drop their name when you reach out. It's amazing. So if I go, Jeffrey, 15 people I'd love to get in front of. Can I run these names by you? Of the 15, you say, I know these 6. You'd be great. Wonderful. When I reach out, can I say we chatted? So we're going to talk about how to have that conversation, how to message that out, how to put a whole referral. I call it referral. It's really permission to name drop program together that leverages your existing network that already loves you.
Totally agree. And for those of you who are still on and are still commenting, think about how you're going to use this information the minute you're offline, the minute you're away from this webinar. What are you going to do today? Because sometimes it's only 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you going to do tomorrow? And how are you going to take this time at home to milk your connections, to give them something that they want to comment back, even if it's only a thank you? That acknowledges that they got the message and they appreciate it. That's the whole deal. And maybe your white paper or your download needs to be 10 things you can do at home besides drinking too much.
So that's a wonderful point. And we're going to talk about, that's like, what do they need right now in their current state? So that is,
I need a drink of water.
I would too, after an hour of listening.
All right, so Robert is asking, how do you maintain your spreadsheet as you add and remove new people? And what does it look like from a process standpoint? How often do you go on? What times and for how long?
Wow, that's a lot. I hope you're
That's
taking
too many questions. You need to take the course.
It sounds like the White House press corps. 7 questions, real boom, boom, boom. Answer. Okay, so sorry. So how do I maintain? I do this right now as a project. So this is new. When I connect with new people, if you notice, this is what I love about it. When you export it, it's based on the date that you connected. So if you have a base of Joe Smith, April 15th, 2020, I know that I exported and this is the last person on my list. When I do the next export, everybody above that are the new people, right? So that's one way. The other way is get a CRM. So you can manage in an Excel spreadsheet. It can get ugly. This is one project that I'm managing in Excel, but like there are free and cheap CRMs that can really help you manage it. I also use LinkedIn to help me manage who I'm going to go after, but that doesn't have tasks. If you have Gmail, you can create, or Outlook, you can create tasks there. So your Excel spreadsheet is not the be all and end all. It's just one of the tools to use right now to get this particular aspect done.
Somebody said, I would love to connect with the headhunter. Now, that's what LinkedIn is about. It's about making connections. The chat group is now wanting to connect with one another based on their needs.
I love that.
Is that a classic or what? And that's what LinkedIn can provide for you. And LinkedIn, by the way, is one of the best job sources in the world. I mean, it's a resource for employment.
Okay, so we have some really nice comments in the YouTube, and I don't know if you guys are seeing them, Brynne and Jeffrey, but
No.
Ray said, this is huge. Never imagined all of this in LinkedIn. Thank you. Bert says, even as a millennial who grew up with social media, this was extremely helpful. Thank you so much. Juan says, very useful tips and info. I'm starting to use them now. And then we have Anthony, Joseph, Terrence, Angela, Eric, Colleen, Monica, who have all just joined the 6-week online course.
Wow.
Phenomenal. I love it. We're going to get back to your questions right now. Sal asks, is it a good idea to keep your contact list public to everyone to see and attach to? With almost 24,000 connections, I have not.
Yeah, so if you're going to go through this course, you are going to see that the significant piece of the prospecting is about mining your connections. So it's got to be a two-way street. You can't say, I'm going to look through someone's connections, but have mine closed. So if you are going to commit to the process, open it. If you are afraid that your competitor is going to know who you're connected to, and you're afraid you're going to lose a client because your competitor knows they're a connection of yours, you need more of Jeffrey's training. Because,
right, exactly.
Right? Like if it's that vulnerable to you, then the relationships you're building after the top of the pipeline are failing, right? And so open it up and trust that you're a good business development, relationship development person, that they can't be poached simply because someone knows you're connected to them on LinkedIn.
If your connections are if your relationships are weak, your connections are vulnerable. Plain and simple.
LinkedIn or in the real world, same.
Yeah. In any world.
Yep.
With your spouse.
Yes. Yeah. My first one would agree.
Okay, so moving on to Michael's question. It's pretty similar. I think we've covered this. Should you connect with other people in your industry who may be even competitors? And then should you destroy a connection? Oh, it's two different. And then this is Michelle. Should you destroy a connection that gives you nothing? Ooh.
Destroy. That's pretty strong.
That's harsh.
Half of my family would be outed right now if that were the. No, I mean, it's not just. I mean, if they're a detriment, but if it's there, most of our connections are neutral right now. Sometimes it's about the timing. It's about who they know. Maybe they do nothing for now, but when someone says, hey, I'm looking at a telephone system, they say, you know, I've been connected to this person for years. I've seen all their content. Why don't you reach out? You may never know that's happening behind the scenes.
Correct. Brynne, the guy who connected with me on LinkedIn had been following me for 20 years.
Right.
And never reached out until he saw a specific need, reached out that day. I got back to him that day. We talked that night and we had a deal the next morning.
I love that. Love that. Yeah, so you don't know. It doesn't mean that I don't ever disconnect from someone. If I reach out to someone and they don't respond and then I reach out again and there's no connection. I mean, and one of the reasons is I hit my 30,000 and I have to cull my connections a little bit. I will give them 3 shots at responding. If they don't, I'll disconnect because I need the space. But most people in my network are quiet. But that doesn't mean I'm not making an impact and that they don't know who I am and that I'm making, if you can make yourself referable, you need the people to refer you and you need to keep in front of them. So unless someone does something detrimental or they are completely non-responsive, they're in my network.
And
Awesome.
staying in front of them is one thing. Staying in front of them with a consistent, valuable message, that's a whole other thing. So
100%.
don't just stay in front of people with your freaking advertisement that we have a special deal. If I get another email that says I've lowered my prices, I'm going to go crazy. Be in front of me with a valuable message that even if it's just how to wash my hands.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy on Instagram who puts on gloves or something and puts black stuff on his gloves to show you how you wash your hands.
I love that.
Millions of views.
Me too.
How to wash your millions of views, how to wash your hands.
Because you miss all these little pieces if you don't see it.
Who knew? We were washing our hands wrong our whole lives.
I know. So I love that. And I will say that if you connect and pitch, you're done.
Totally done. If I see 3 bullet points in an email, I delete it.
Thank you. Yeah, right. So here's the bottom line is stop telling people how you can help them and simply help them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So Dan is asking if the course will be reviewable online, and we will be posting this course, this amazing course with information in a reviewable post that we'll send to you on email, and it will also be available when you purchase the course. This will also be in your portal so that you can go back and review this at any time. Now, I'd like to congratulate Lawrence, Troy, and James for joining the online 6-week course, gitomerlinkedin.com, and get to the next question. So we have Daniel. How long does the spreadsheet emailed, I guess he's saying, how long does it take to get the spreadsheet when you email it with
10
your
minutes.
connections?
10
minutes. All right. Reliable Snow Plowing says, Jeffrey, will you be offering that training at a reduced cost, not have to be free, but reduced will help for my employees that are still working in a smaller capacity?
Our prices are fair and our prices are firm. We want to be able to provide this to everybody. We've made this. Brynne is going to charge $1,000 for this once the pandemic is over, and it's worth every nickel of it. Huh?
$9.97.
Sorry, $9.97.
No. That's what it is. That's what the course is.
So we've reduced it to 2 payments of $98. Plow more streets.
$97. Two
payments of 97.
Yeah. Yes. So we've got Jay, James, Troy, Lawrence. Quick recap: John, Monica, Colleen, Eric, Angela, Terrence, Joseph, Anthony, Tevin, George, AJ, Kim, Melanie, Sal, Raymond, Christiana, Michelle, Mark, Eugene, Andreas, Robert, Amy, William, Elizabeth, Matthew. Oh my goodness. Kent, Sue, Kimberly, Matt, Janine, Cameron, Dan, John, Robert, Dustin, Robert, Jen, and Christopher, who have all enrolled in the course so far. This is going to be amazing.
Sounds like Bandstand.
It sounds like
American Bandstand with Dick Clark.
Oh yeah, and I was thinking the PBS show Zoom. They used to do that too. They'd have that's awesome.
But or the that thing where women buy earrings and shit, and they put who bought the earrings.
QVC.
Yeah. They're in Philly, by the way.
So
man. All right. We have some more questions.
Go.
Okay.
So where can I get the training about this? Where can I get details about the sales training Jeffrey mentioned a few minutes ago?
It's very simple. You go to Gitomer.com. Jen will respond to you in a way. We'll put a couple links in there if you want more stuff of mine.
Yeah, and
sure.
I'm going to say, take a look at his mastermind group, because that's where the magic happens.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. All right. So from JJ, what's the best LinkedIn account to connect with you? Oh, for Jeffrey. Sorry, it was hard to read. Jeffrey, what is the best LinkedIn account to connect with you?
I only have one. It's Jeffrey Gitomer.
You have a company page that looks like a page. So follow his company page and follow him. So follow both.
Thank you.
Yes, and he doesn't often accept connections because he's close to the 30,000. So what Brynne is saying to follow is the best way to connect with him.
And let me explain something about LinkedIn Corporate and their feelings about the people that are involved with them. I can put it in one sentence. It mimics the airlines. They don't give a shit about you. They say that if you have a special need, they'll allow you more than 30,000 connections. I've been a member since 2008, done nothing but provide value to every single person, rarely, if ever, asked anybody to buy anything. And my letter back after I said, hey, can you please expand my thing to 50,000? It was like, tough shit.
Well, so in all fairness, even the CEO of LinkedIn can't have more than 30,000. Because
You know
I
what?
tried the same thing.
If you remember when Twitter had 180, 140, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden they doubled it one day, LinkedIn might want to jump into the 21st century.
I agree.
Because your cell phone, remember your cell phone when you could have 25 numbers in there, and if you needed a 26, you had to delete somebody? I now have 78 people with the name John. So I think that it's time for LinkedIn to jump into the 21st century.
I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. So just for expectations, I have a client call in 10 minutes, so I can stay on for another 10 and answer these questions. Then I got to serve people.
Okay. So for those of you who requested the headhunters information, it's Andrea Duarte, and my team will post this in the LinkedIn comments so that you guys can follow her on LinkedIn. Let's see what else we've got here. Does Brynne have a LinkedIn course for job seekers? I've been furloughed, and while I can implement most of the social selling information covered when I'm selling again, I would love to take this time off to see what other opportunities are available.
So what I would say, so I do not, and it is different. However, the course will be quite valuable. Regardless, what I would say is instead of looking at prospects that you're going after, look at it as companies.
Or prospective employers.
Yeah,
prospects or prospective employers. And now's the time to use that video knob where you make a video about yourself and make that part of your resume so people can see who you are and hear who you are, not just read who you are. Yeah,
the personal video is your new cover page.
Totally.
Yeah, it's definitely pre-interview. I'm happy.
If you're going to shoot it from your bedroom, make sure your bed's made.
So drop me a message on LinkedIn, or you can email me, brynne@socialsaleslink.com, and I'll give you some pointers from a job perspective. But I still think this course could be quite useful, will be quite useful.
We're going to be creating a course for job seekers very shortly, Brynne. You just don't know it yet.
Got it.
So we have a question about the course from John. How long is each weekly meeting? Well, that's number one. And number two, what if I think the course sucks? Is there a refund?
Oh my God.
So I'm going to tell you, if you think it sucks, there's something wrong, because it's friggin' awesome. Right. Number two, it's 45 minutes of content and then 15 minutes of me answering your questions and guiding you in what you need. If you are afraid it's going to suck, then don't buy it, because you're going to find a reason to have it suck.
Spoken like a Philadelphian. No, let me explain something. Somebody from the Midwest would go, oh, sure, yeah, you can have your money back if you want. People from Philly going, dude, tough shit. You bought it, you own it. But this is the deal. There's so much value in here. I will vouch for it personally. I'm going to tell you that this course has everything that you want in a LinkedIn course and more. Take a chance. It's $100. It's two payments of $97. Take a chance.
Lisa's asking if you can do the download of contacts with the free version.
Yes.
Okay, and our very last question that I see, John has now purchased. He's no longer afraid it will suck. Thank you, John. It will rock. You made a good choice.
Exactly.
I love that.
People are hesitant because they fear the unknown. And when you get this course, you're going to be known. You'll know what the value is. You'll know how to implement. You'll know what to say. You'll know what to do. Dude, do it.
Tony is asking if this will air again. And at the moment, we will send you a replay and you can share it with your fellow salespeople. We will also send a link for them to
Yeah, a lot
watch
of
it if
people
you'd like.
register. A lot of people register have no intention of watching the live. They just want
love
to watch
this.
the replay.
Ken,
I
stop
do
being
that.
paranoid and be successful.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, but we got Matthew, Reg, and Nick have all joined us for the 6 weeks, so that's going to be amazing. And I think that is it. Will you really be doing a call on Memorial Day? Just wondering for scheduling purposes.
Oh, do you know, I didn't even realize that. So the answer is if we're still in quarantine, absolutely. If we're not, I will throw in, I'll keep it.
No, Brynne is going to go to the beach on Memorial Day, and she will be giving you this lesson poolside.
There's a possibility that that could happen, but
No, just go. Monday, I'll go with you on Memorial Day. We'll just do it for the
What?
hell of it.
let's
It
all
won't
go to
count as-
Wild Dunes. We'll
It
meet
won't
at
count.
Yes.
Exactly. It won't count as one of the weeks. It'll just be a bonus. But if
It'll
you
be
want,
okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if it ends
Kara
up
is
being an
here. Hi,
issue,
Kara.
we'll talk about another hour if we have.
Okay, last question. Brynne, how much time per day do you devote to your LinkedIn strategy? Do you employ help?
So, ish. So let's talk. There are definitely VA options. Like I don't ever do it for people, but we'll talk because that's a gray line that it's a gray area that we can talk about.
our
Wow,
line
this
is not gray. Our line is not gray. We use VAs, and we depend on them, and they're freaking amazing. And if you use one in the Philippines, they're working while you're sleeping, so you wake up with answers and posts.
So so posts, absolutely. Curating content, there's a relationship building piece that we don't outsource. But I would say
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even for Jeffrey, I mean, he still writes his stuff because it has to sound like him.
Yeah,
or
I have a voice.
Very
I'm a writer.
distinctly.
I'm a writer.
Yeah.
I'm a writer.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and sometimes people on the team might help, and then Jeffrey comes in and he Jeffreyises it. Jeffreyies it. I don't know.
or
how
hey,
to
I
say
need
that.
something about this, and here's what I have in mind, and I fix it. Or I'll edit it. I'll just put it that way.
So we have 3 minutes before I have to jump, which makes me sad because I could do this all day. This was like the most fun I've had since quarantine.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to say in our
amazing.
remaining time, Brynne. Thank you very much for doing an amazing job.
Thank
The
you.
people who are on this webinar today will benefit from it for a long, long time. And you have honed your skill to a point where you are a world-class expert at LinkedIn, and people are going to be foolish who will not take advantage of your program and your course. So we're going to continue to promote it and promote the hell out of it.
Thank you.
We had almost 2,000 registrants today.
Yeah.
I mean, just as an unbelievable response in a time of need. And what it tells you is there's a big need for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it also tells you that people have already checked you out and said, oh, this chick knows what she's talking about. And I think that that's a tribute to you, but it's also a value to the audience that should not be missed. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank
for
you
all
so
of you
much.
out there in
I love
TV
you
land,
guys. Gitomers rock.
We love you, Brynne. We love you, Brynne. And we are so excited. I didn't give the last couple of people who just joined a shout out, like Virginia
one
and
last
William
shout
and
out.
Daniel and Jocelyn and John. This is so freaking awesome. Do not have FOMO. Just go to GitomerLinkedIn.com.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.